videos here today is we want to be able to show you exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it. It's a bit hard to explain through diagrams on our essay, so we thought it would be a good idea if we can just make some video clips. So we'll get into it. So our first game is, if you can have a look at our court size. Now, it's ain't to scale, it's just to give you a little idea of what the court size would look like. So our first game, we're focusing on a pedagogical principle of exaggeration, and more specifically our action principle we're looking at is mobility. Now, in the needs analysis of our video, we discovered that the yellow team were immobile, so they weren't moving 10 out of the 13 times. Now what does this mean is at least 2 people were just standing there. Now this is very difficult for an attacking team to find options to pass the ball. For example, in our game of touchdown, if people are just standing there doing nothing, they're essentially they're not giving no one any options to do. So the game we decided we'd make is a game called cement feet. Now the concept of cement feet is very much like netball, but it's a little different. Now what we've tried to make is 3 zones or 3 quarters. So we can make 1 zone, 2 zones, and 3 zones. Now what this represents is different zones, meaning we want to be able to find space. So the name of the game is mobility. Now as an attacking team and a defending team, our key concept is finding space. Now a key area that we've worked on is looking for space. So, for example, we're going to stand here in our first zone. Now, we have to pass the ball 8 times. Now, the objective of this game is to make a maximum of 8 passes. Now, through these 8 passes, the rules are we're not allowed to pass backwards. Now, what's this going to do is it's going to promote advancement, and it's going to promote mobility to move forward. So, for example, we're going to say this is the end zone, and we've got our players. So me as an attacker, as a recipe for the game, when we start, we're allowed to start anywhere within our first quarter. Now as defenders, they're allowed to start anywhere as well. They're not allowed to be right up against us, but they can be within the vicinity. So another rule is we're not allowed to pass backwards, like I said before, and we have to pass to the person with the ball. You have to be able to touch the ball twice. So every person in the team has a chance to pass and catch the ball. This promotes variety within the team and gives everyone an opportunity to learn correct passing and correct catching. So we start the game. So just say I've caught it, and then my friend over there, he's an attacker. So he passes it, I'll pass it, and he'll catch it. Now what we're trying to promote is finding space. So how we're going to, the way that we can do this, and it's a very good tactic and strategy, and it's shown in Slade's book, is class me as an off-ball attacker. So I don't have the ball. We'll just come into the second quarter here. What I'm going to try to promote is space. So effectively, what I'm going to do is, as an off-ball attacker, I'm going to walk away. As I walk away, I'm emptying the space because my defender's going to be following me. So just say I'm off the ball, my defender's following me, I run back, the space is open, I catch the ball, that's mobility. I'm shifting, I'm moving. What's this going to promote for the yellow team is more variety and more options for the passer to effectively pass and have a successful pass. So another rule, once the attacking player catches it, he's not allowed to move. So you understand, this is like netball. So he's looking for the pass. We're going to have our players. Again, we have to have 2 touches per player. My next player, he catches it. Just say I'm at 6 passes. 7 passes, next defender, 8 passes, and I haven't touched the end. That means I can get 1 point. So to promote advancement and mobility to get to the end of the court, we've made it so if you can get to the end zone within them 8, or even at that 8, you get 2 points. Now, the skills that both defending and attacking will learn as an attacker, I'll be more mobile, I'll be more agile, and I'll be able to find space. I'm looking for space. My catching ability should increase because we're focusing on catching, and when we throw, we'll be improving our accuracy through our throwing. As a defending team, I want to be able to come ball side. That's the name of the game, get ball side, because as you get ball side, you're going to be able to defend. These are our second part, is variations. What's the variations to our game? Now, variations is we can make the size of the court bigger and smaller. This will be determined by our skill level. So if an attacking team is finding it very easy to find space, we're going to close the gap and just make it more congested, whereas if they're finding it difficult, we're going to open the space and give the attackers more room to run into. The last part we have is a re-evaluation phase. So this phase is very important for our participants as it gives an opportunity to see whether or not they have actually learnt the tactics and the strategies that such a game like Cement Feet provide. There's a variety of ways what we can do. We can play the game of touchdown again, and it gives us an opportunity to see whether or not that they've actually learnt what we've tried to enforce onto them. Or another way, and it's very effective, is asking critical questions. Now these questions give the participant the time to reflect on what the game is really about and the tactics that are involved. This can be done within the middle of the game, or even at the start, or even at the end. And what this provides, again, it provides the participant to reflect on what they think the game is. And by them thinking for themselves, they're going to think tactically on the key areas that they need to improve. And just so we watch the game, so they play the game again, and they have the tactic of moving into space well. They've got moving into space, their mobility is good, but their passing and their catching is letting them down. That's when we have to turn to the technical side and promote more technical ability on how to execute their skill more efficiently. So what this can provide is a time for us to stop the game completely and play, just say their passing and their catching is not well. We can all line up and we can all do drills. And now what this is going to promote is better skill acquisition.